The cold on I-07 isn't like Earth's cold. It's dry, hollow. It doesn't sting or burn. It just waits. We touched down just past 0600 local time, though that meant nothing. The sun never crests here, just rolls behind the fog-thick sky like a buried lamp. 5 of us came in, 2 Lurathi observers staying behind in orbit. One, Saruin, insisted on joining us planetside. Said he owed the ice an apology. That should have told me everything. The facility, FB-12, was built into the edge of a glacial shelf, a kilometer east of the monolith field. The black columns rose from the ground like fingers trying to claw their way out. Our scans showed no interior structure, no energy signature. But every few hours they hummed. You didn't hear it. You felt it behind your teeth. I was tasked with security and diplomacy. A balancing act I'd learned to fake. The real diplomats never came out here. Just ex-soldiers with clean uniforms and bad dreams. Sergeant Voss. That's still what they call me. Even though the war ended 6 years ago. The base smelled too clean. Antiseptic, recycled air, synthetic meals. Dr. Khatri, the xenogeologist, muttered about seismic inconsistencies and magnetic pulses. I ignored most of it until he pointed out the snow. It doesn't settle, he said. Falls for hours, but nothing builds up. He showed me. Tiny flakes scattered across the landing pad, then just sank. Dissolved without trace. No wind, no melt, just gone. What does that? I don't know, he replied, not looking at me. But it's not physics. The Lurathi never came near the monoliths. Saruin stood just inside the perimeter, trembling, his skin a translucent blue-green under the thick suit. His people had no pupils, but when he looked at the columns, I could tell he wasn't seeing them. He was remembering something. These were not made for us, he said quietly. Who made them? He didn't answer. The team was small. Myself. Khatri. Private Clemens, young, twitchy, smart. Reyes, our communications officer. And Dr. Rourke, who barely spoke but had a PhD in spatial anomalies. That night, I dreamed of Kandahar. Not the real one, the one stitched together from guilt. My unit, the ambush, the screaming. But the strange part wasn't the memory. It was what came after. A black spire, half buried in sand, rising behind the broken convo. It hadn't been there before. Not in real life. When I woke up, my mouth tasted like ash. Private Clemens, report. He hesitated. Ma'am, I think we have a glitch in the drone feed. How so? 2 of them showed different layouts of the monolith field. Same time, same grid. But one shows an extra spire. I leaned over his shoulder. He was right. How many monoliths are there? Yesterday? 47. And now? 48. And it moved. We scrubbed the telemetry. No signs of tampering. No visible motion. Just a new monolith. Taller than the rest. Closer to the outpost. Rhea stopped sleeping by day 2. She claimed she could hear voices under the static in her headset. It's just wind, I told her. She didn't look up. Wind doesn't call your name. Later that night, her equipment began broadcasting on random frequencies. Not just Earth-based bands, but Lurathi channels too. We caught one signal looping back a human voice. Open the door. You left me there. No one claimed it. No match in the base logs. Saruin grew increasingly silent. When he did speak, it was cryptic. This place has no shadow. What do you mean? There's light. But nothing reflects truth. Only shape. I didn't ask again. Dr. Rourke documented the monoliths obsessively. Every hour, she photographed each one from the same position. By day 3, her hands shook constantly. They're rearranging, she said. Moving? No. The angles. The geometry is shifting. But not physically. Just perceptually. She showed me 2 photos, taken 6 hours apart. Same spire. Same camera. But the second image bent subtly to the left, like it was leaning toward her. Her handwriting at the bottom simply read, "It's watching." The worst moment came quietly. I stood outside the facility alone, watching the horizon. No wind. No sound. Just a slow fall of snow that never settled. Then something flickered in the corner of my vision. I turned. Nothing. But when I looked again, my own reflection in the visor stared back at me, not mimicking my movements, just watching. It blinked. I didn't. Back inside, I checked the footage from my helmet cam. Static. A sharp buzz of white noise. And then, a whisper. "You survived, but not all of you." I powered it off. Said nothing. Later, I found Clemens standing near the comms terminal, staring at nothing. "You okay, Private?" "They're not spires," he said. "They're mouths." I stepped closer. "Say that again?" "They're not watching. They're remembering. Us. All of us." He turned slowly to me, eyes wet. "Ma'am, I saw my brother. He's been dead 10 years. But I saw him inside the glass. He begged me to stop digging." I sent Clemens to rest. He didn't sleep. Neither did I. The snow kept falling. The hum returned, low, pulsing, inside the bones. Saruin refused to leave his bunk. He spoke one last time before silence. "We sent our wisest here long ago." None returned. "You humans, you don't know what it means to be noticed by something that doesn't blink." By the 5th day, Reyes was gone. No signs of forced exit. Just her badge, placed neatly on the floor near the supply hatch. The door never opened. At least not physically. I stared at that badge for hours. Then I looked outside. The monoliths had changed formation again. This time, they made a circle. And the snow still refused to settle. We sealed Rhea's quarters, but her absence lingered like mold. Her name still blinked on the status panel. Active. Inside the base. I had Clemens run a sweep. Nothing. "Ma'am," he said, rubbing his eyes, "I've checked every room twice. Her tag says she's here." "I know." He paused. "But she's not." I stared at the tracker. Blinking. Blinking. Still present. "We'll shut down her signal," I said. "We already did." The monoliths shifted again. Dr. Rourke documented the changes in a shaking scrawl. No one was surprised anymore. We stopped discussing it. "Every configuration draws closer," she whispered. "Like it's forming something." "Like what?" "A shape that looks like us, but isn't." The humming returned that evening, subtle at first, like the whine of distant engines. Then sharper. Rhythmic. I found myself tapping my fingers in sync before I realized it. Katri dropped his coffee. Just froze, staring into the steaming spill. "You all right?" He looked up slowly. "I wasn't drinking coffee." "What?" I thought I had tea." "That's what's bothering you." He knelt down. Touched the spill. "I don't drink coffee. Never have." Sleep became a negotiation. I'd drift off, then snap awake to something not quite sound. A cough that wasn't mine. A breath too close. Once, the door hissed open by itself. I didn't check. I saw Kandahar again, this time from a rooftop. I was aiming down at my own squad. Someone else pulled the trigger, but my hands were wrapped around the rifle. The snow there was red. I woke up shaking, but not from the dream. The base was vibrating, softly, steadily, like a breath inhaled and held. By day 6, Saruin stopped speaking altogether. He sat on the floor of the comms room, back to the wall, facing nothing. He wouldn't eat. Just blinked slowly, as though trying to see something that wasn't quite there. I crouched beside him. "Tell me what you know." His throat moved, but his lips didn't. Then a whisper. "Does it speak to you yet? What is it?" He didn't answer. He looked past me, toward the hallway. I turned. Empty. That morning, we found Clemens in the observation dome. He was barefoot. The glass beneath him steamed faintly in the cold. "You good, Private?" "I heard her," he said. "Reyes?" He nodded. "She was inside the calm static. Said I shouldn't have let go." "Let go of what?" "My brother. He drowned when I was 10. I was holding his arm. The current took him. You couldn't have." "I know. But she knew. The thing. It knew." Katri started writing in his sleep. We found pages scattered across the lab floor, symbols at first, then full sentences in languages we couldn't translate. Rourke insisted one was Lurathi script. Saruin confirmed it. His only response: "This is how they warned us." Too late. Katri claimed no memory of writing anything. He started leaving notes, for himself taped to the walls. "Don't trust your reflection. Memory is not always yours. If the humming stops, run." Rourke came to me with a photo. "Taken 20 hours apart," she said. "Same spire." "But—" I looked. The second image had a shape. Just behind the monolith's curve. Like a silhouette pressed to frosted glass. Long limbs. No face. The outline of a human skull, but wrong, too long, too smooth. "You see it too?" she asked. I nodded. She exhaled. "It's not trying to hide anymore." That night, I heard Reyes humming. A tune from the barracks, some old earth jingle. I followed it, past the supply room. Empty. Then I heard my name. Not shouted. Spoken. "Mara." I turned. The hall was dark, but something glinted near the far wall. A badge. Her badge. I knelt. It was cold. Behind me, quiet footsteps. I spun around, weapon raised. Nothing. Back in my quarters, the lights flickered twice. Then the intercom clicked on. A child's voice, soft, distorted. "You left me." I shut the system down. Removed the wires. Still, it whispered. "Come outside." I found Clemens standing at the airlock at 0200. His hand hovered over the open switch. "You can't go out alone," I said. She said it's better there. "Who?" He didn't answer. I stepped closer. He flinched. "Private. I just want the noise to stop." He turned to face me. His eyes were bloodshot, his mouth trembling. "Do you hear it, Lieutenant? Under the static?" I nodded. "Yes." He sobbed once. "Then it's already inside." Saruin collapsed mid-transmission the next morning. His vitals spiked, then dropped. We kept him under watch, but his skin began to shift, color draining, patterns shifting erratically. Rourke said it resembled the Lurathi death reflex. I asked him one last time. "What's out there?" This time, he spoke slowly. Almost gently. "We never found its end. Only its mirrors." He turned his gaze toward the dome window. "You'll answer its question soon enough." "What question?" Later, I checked Rhea's locker again. It was locked, but her boots were missing. No prints outside. No breach. Just gone. I stared at my own boots after. They felt heavier than before. Rourke drew the monolith pattern on the whiteboard. She'd been tracing the shifts nightly. They formed spirals now, tightening inward, like a drill point. "Is it a signal?" "No," she said. "It's a pattern recognition system." "For what?" "Us." Before sleep, I locked the door and pushed the bed against it. Didn't help. At 3:13 a.m., I woke to silence. Real silence. No hum. No whirring systems. Just breath. My own. And another. Right behind me. I didn't turn around. On day 8, I stopped marking time. The base felt off-center. Doors opened an inch wider than they should. Clocks drifted, seconds stretching too long or snapping short. The hum hadn't returned since that silent night, but something had taken its place. A vibration, low and internal, like a buried heart still beating after death. Katri was the first to break. I found him in the mess hall, naked, standing on a chair, arms raised like a signal tower. His skin was red with cold. Eyes wide open. He wasn't looking at anything. Just staring straight ahead, frozen mid-thought. Doctor! No answer. Get down! He smiled, slow and wrong. I saw it, he whispered. What did you see? I didn't have a name before, but it gave me one. He climbed down on his own. Sat in the corner with his knees to his chest. It's not cruel, he murmured. It just remembers everything. And it wants us to do the same. Saruin died that night. He didn't scream or convulse. He just stopped breathing. His body went still. The Lurathi don't leave remains. We didn't know if that was ritual or biology. But within the hour, his form began to collapse inward. Like ice melting from within. By dawn, nothing was left but his communicator and a faint green stain on the floor. Rourke watched, arms crossed, jaw tight. He looked peaceful, she said. No one here is peaceful. Clemens wouldn't enter the lab anymore. Claimed the lights were wrong, too yellow. Said the walls breathed. He built a makeshift sleeping corner in the maintenance hallway and taped over the vents. It can't whisper if there's no air. What can't? He looked at me, eyes hollow. Your voice. We lost the long-range signal feed. Not cut. Not jammed. Just gone. The satellite logs showed no error. No interference. It simply stopped existing on our screens. I climbed to the external dish, took manual readings. Every frequency came back clean, except one. A narrow band looping the same 4 seconds. And when the mirror breaks, you'll see who's been watching. Over and over. Dr. Rourke started seeing duplicates. She told me during breakfast, almost casually, like mentioning bad weather. They mimic perfectly, she said. Same expressions. Same scars. But it's in the eyes. They don't blink at the right time. Who did you see? She hesitated. You. Twice. I checked the security feed that night. There were 2 of me in the hallway. One moving. One still. Side by side. Then gone. No glitch. No distortion. Just perfect silence and movement caught from 2 angles. The monoliths glowed now. Pale pulses, like the beat of a resting animal. Every few hours the pattern changed. Rourke had stopped charting them. She only watched. What are they doing? I asked. She answered without blinking. Waiting for us to stop pretending we're alone. That night, we shared the same dream. 3 survivors. 1 mind. We stood inside a chamber of lightless walls. The shape in front of us shifted constantly, sometimes a man, sometimes something taller, too thin, too stretched. It spoke in thoughts, not words. Why did you come here? Rourke asked. What are you? You called me. Clemens whispered. This isn't real. The shape laughed. Then it showed us. I was back in Kandahar. But this time, I held the rifle. A woman cried out. Civilian. Holding a child. My hands didn't tremble when I fired. I didn't miss. Clemens sobbed in a cave, a rope in his hand. His brother's voice echoed behind him. You let me go. Rourke walked past the room full of monitors. Each one showed a version of herself looking back, smiling. We don't create fear, the shape said. You bring it with you. I woke up gasping, floor cold beneath me. Clemens had scratched the same symbol from the monoliths into the wall beside him. Over and over. The next day, he was gone. No trace. No exit logs. Just a smear of ash near the observation dome. One of his boots was left behind. Inside it a note. I forgive you, Mara. I didn't remember telling him my name. Rourke stopped eating. She paced for hours, drawing spirals on every surface. Black marker across the glass tables, her arms. They're trying to prepare us. For what? She stopped. Looked me dead in the eye. To meet ourselves. Later, I found her standing at the monolith perimeter, barefoot in the snow. Her breath came in soft clouds. The tallest spire pulsed with slow, deliberate rhythm. "Come back inside," I said. "They want to know if we're ready." "Ready for what?" She smiled. "Calm. Empty. To understand why they're afraid of us." She stepped forward. 1 step. 2. And then she was gone. No flash. No scream. Just a ripple in the air, like heat above pavement. Then stillness. I walked back alone. The base was silent now. Lights dimmed. Systems on backup. The walls hummed softly, like it was breathing for me. I passed the med bay. Saw my reflection in the glass. I wasn't blinking. I stared at the reflection. It stared back. Then smiled. I didn't eat the last 3 days. Didn't need to. The base sustained itself, feeding on memory and mimicry. The food pack stayed sealed. The water cooler remained full, untouched. The body needs fuel. But the mind, when it's full of noise and shadows, learns to live on less. I stayed inside until the lights started to pulse with the monoliths. Same rhythm. Same pause between the beats. By then I understood. The structure we called the base wasn't isolated from the outside. It was part of the field. A limb of the larger thing lying buried beneath ice and time and sound. The hum wasn't random. It was breathing. I stepped outside before dawn, if time even mattered now. The spires were waiting. Arranged in a perfect spiral, drawing inward to a single towering column in the center, taller than the rest, smoother, darker. It bent light. Refused reflection. As I approached, my boots didn't crunch. No sound at all. The air was too still. Too tight. I stood before the central spire. I didn't touch it. I didn't have to. It opened. Not like a door. Not like anything mechanical. One moment, solid surface. The next, space. Inside I saw nothing. But I felt everything. So I stepped in. There was no ceiling. No floor. Just distance. Distance wrapped in silence. Then the voice arrived. It wasn't sound. It unfolded inside my head like a childhood smell or a memory that never belonged to me. "You made it." I didn't speak. "You saw what they could not." "Who are you?" I asked. "I am what remembers." "What do you want from us?" "Nothing. You brought yourselves." I tried to blink. Couldn't tell if I had eyes here. The form I inhabited wasn't flesh. Not fully. "You showed us pain," I said. "You forced us to relive things we buried. You buried them too shallow. I didn't come here to be judged. We do not judge. We observe." The Lurathi turned away from the mirror. "But you..." The voice slowed. Tilted. "You stared back." Around me, the void shifted. Scenes from Earth flickered into form. Not wars. Not famines. Not cruelty. A man building a wall alone after his daughter left home. A woman holding her dying father's hand, humming through tears. A boy lighting a fire in the ruins of a collapsed town. Just for warmth. "You endure," it said. "Even when you shouldn't. Why are the others gone?" Some chose silence. Some chose truth. None returned the same. It showed me Clemens. He stood beneath a tree, looking at his hands. The rope was gone. He was smiling. Did he die? He remembered. And forgave himself. Rourke stood beside a whiteboard in a new facility, lines and spirals filling the glass. Calm. Focused. "She's alive?" "She accepted what she was." "That is not the same as death." "And Saruin?" The vision flickered. A field of white. No form. "He still hides." "His kind were the first to find us. And the first to fear themselves." I turned. "I don't want peace if it means forgetting what I've done." "It doesn't." "Then what do you want me to do?" "Choose." The darkness collapsed in. Not threatening. Just final. A question in the shape of silence. I felt the rifle again in my hands. The screaming. The heat. The stench. The woman. The child. But I didn't look away. I stepped forward. I don't know if I walked. But I moved. Deeper. Through walls of light that pulsed with memory. Into the core of something ancient and knowing. It didn't promise forgiveness. It offered understanding. When I opened my eyes, I was standing outside the spire. Alone. Windless. Breath tight in my chest. The snow had finally begun to settle. I turned toward the base. The lights inside were still. Power gone. Quiet. But someone had placed Saruan's communicator on the entrance step. Its light blinked twice. Then stopped. Back inside, I powered the emergency transmitter. No signal went out. But I spoke anyway. This is Lieutenant Mara Voss. FOB 12 is closed. No survivors remain. I paused. Don't send replacements. This ground is not haunted. It's aware. It will not harm you. But it will show you things you've spent your life forgetting. I looked at the screen. No reply. If you come ready to remember. I found Rhea's badge on my desk later that day. Clean. Warm to the touch. Beside it, a note in my handwriting. You looked. I walked outside at dusk. The monoliths were gone. Not shattered. Not melted. Just absent. As if they'd never been there at all. But beneath the ice, I felt it, still breathing. Still waiting. Not to attack. To be understood. As I stood alone on that frozen plain, with the cold finally settling into my bones, I thought of what Saruan said. That it didn't kill. It didn't have to. Because we brought enough horror with us.